What's up, YouTube? So today we're going to be redoing the Metallica Enclosure. I've already cleared it out and have the spider in a catch cup. And this is the old cork bark. We're going to be putting this new cork bark in. Hopefully it'll fit in here. Let's see. Maybe if I angle it a certain way. What I want to do is try to make this more arboreal until I can get a proper arboreal enclosure. So what I'm going to do is try to have the cork bark set up like that, and then I'm going to have substrate probably about to maybe here where my finger is. As you can see, it got a little too wet in there last time. I may have I accidentally poured a little too much water in the overflow, and yeah, so we're just going to let this dry out. We'll reuse it later. This I'll just rinse off. So we're going to go ahead and grab our substrate here. Good old bag of Eco Earth. I'll just start pouring substrate in around the cork bark there. Maybe I have something that I can hold the camera over so you can watch me do this time instead of just being a crappy cameraman. Got me some gloves so I don't get dirt all over my hands. We'll take our little bag sealer and just stick it to that chair that we're about to pull out. I gotta watch out for my Steam Deck controller. We'll just have this chair sitting here like this. Maybe. God, this thing's got dust all over it. I gotta dust stuff again. I have something I can hang this over. Let me look around real quick. Could do another tarantula enclosure. Let's do that. I always cover the lid, or I always cover my lens because my room's a frickin' mess and I don't want people commenting on that. We're going to use our curly hair enclosure here as a camera stand. Just like this. Oh, that's working good. Go ahead and get us some gloves on. And we'll fill in the gaps. I'll have to wet the substrate just a little bit so the spider's comfortable, because the P Metallica needs a moist environment, but not as moist as the accidental overflow of the water bottle. Let me grab the water bottle real quick, because we're going to need it. And I might actually put some of the old substrate back in because it has springtails in it. And I don't really want to lose the springtails, even though I've got a colony of them in my closet. Let's see here. Probably use some of this old wet substrate. Won't be too wet though. We'll just take our dry substrate for now and pour some in. Just like so. And then we'll try to pack it down around our cork bark. Now I'm pretty sure the curly hair and the Arizona blonde are both in pre-molt, so you might see some videos on them soon in pre-molt, because the curly hair refused to eat the last time I tried to feed them. And well, actually no, that's not true. The P Metallica, or the Calcotes, is not in pre-molt because it did eat a superworm a couple days ago, which I haven't made another feeding video because I ran out of feeders and I got to go back to the tie-dye to get some more. Alright, I want to try to make this look like a fallen tree branch, but I don't want to overfill it so much where the spider don't have room to hide on the cork bark. I also need to make sure the lid is still going to fit on here with this new thing I'm trying to do. I'm putting the lid on upside down. Oh yeah, that's going to fit perfectly. Let's go ahead and get this substrate off of here. And then our substrate, probably use a little bit more. And then I'll take some of the old wet substrate and sprinkle it onto there, just so we'll have some springtails in here. I don't know why this is dimming. The battery's still good in my phone, so I don't know what's going on there. I'll put some of this old wet in here, but not too much. I don't want to overdo this, so we'll just try to mix it in there. Already getting it on the sides of the enclosure, ain't I? Try to mix it in there real good. And where it's an arboreal, it doesn't need as much substrate as a terrestrial. And I haven't seen this one burrow in this stage, because when they're juvenile, they burrow. And I think this one might be past that phase, because I've never seen it try to make a burrow. Okay, we'll layer a little bit more dry in there, and then we'll mix some more wet into it to try to just keep our springtails. I don't want to bury that too much. I also want it to have some room on the edges. We'll try to pack that down in there real nice. Pack this down more on the sides here, and then we'll put us a little bit of wet in there so it'll keep the springtails going. I think that's looking fairly decent, unless I should move the cork bark over a little. Might have to. Yeah, we're gonna recenter this cork bark. Because I don't want it to just be up in the corner, because then the spider won't have enough room. So we'll angle it about like this, I would say, would be nice. And we'll try to pack it down in there. Try to keep this in camera view for you guys. I need to try to upload a lot more often, but I don't know, I just don't feel the drive to sometimes. But I'm not going to stop making videos. It's just I don't do it often. I think that looks pretty good. Make sure the lid goes on. Of course I did it upside down again. Yep, lid's going on there. And now we'll sprinkle in some of the old, because you can see that's a bit too wet. Because what happened was I was giving it water, and I overfilled the water dish a bit too much. It is kind of hard to pour water in for this guy when it's constantly on its roof, and it's a squirrely spider, so it kind of makes you a little nervous because you don't want to lose it, don't want it to run out. And this will just provide moisture, and it keeps our springtails. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good, don't y'all think? I think that's a perfect amount of substrate, and it's got something it can climb on and cling to other than just the lid. So now all we got to do is put it back in there. And that might be a little bit harder than it sounds. Please don't bolt. Please do not bolt. You can see the colors coming in a lot more since it's last molt. Now we got to grab our little pin here. Try to poke it out. Nice. That was easy. I'm gonna rinse this water dish off, and I will set it back on the shelf. It's already found a spot on the back here, which is my exact intention with this. There isn't a lot of space for it though, as you can see, but tarantulas don't really care about space. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.